Duck It Live.
Hey, what's going on? It's the odd man, Audley Stephenson for NBL Canada Live. I'm here in downtown Toronto, out front of the offices of Paul Riley. Now, Paul was just named the brand new commissioner of the National Basketball League of Canada, and we're all excited. We're heading into a third season, one that'll probably be the most competitive season that this league has ever seen, and it couldn't be a better time for Paul Riley to jump on board. So let's go inside and hear what Paul had to say. I have the distinction and pleasure of sitting next to brand new NBL Commissioner Paul Riley. How's it going?
Very good, very good. Exciting time to be coming in and helping this league move forward.
Mm-hmm. And it is exciting going into the third season. There's lots of momentum from the previous two seasons, and I mean, I believe year number 3 will probably be the most competitive season coming as moving forth. Your thoughts on sort of what you've seen up until this point?
Absolutely. I think this year is a critical year for us. We've got some solid fan bases built in the communities we were in before. We know a couple of new locations coming on board now, and I know their fan base are rabid as well. 2 years ago, Forbes magazine did a study that proved that basketball is the most popular sport with young people in this country 2 years ago. I would suggest that 2 years later it's even more profound. So we know that people play the game more here than any other sport. We know the interest level is here. But what's really developed in the last couple of years, and I think you've seen it, is the talent level has grown now to the point where, you know, you can have a kid go #1 in the NBA draft. You can have a kid go #1 in the NBL draft. And next year you might have another kid go #1 in the NBA draft as well. So the basketball foundation that, you know, we've been cultivating here for decades, it's in full bloom right now, and we're excited as fans of the game, and the NBL is excited to bring high-level basketball, professional ball to Canada.
I wonder if you sort of talk about from your perspective before coming into the league and how you view the league, and what kind of really attracted you to this role as commissioner, because there's obviously a lot sort of that in terms of expectations, and you know, we talked about the going into year number 3, and sort of talk sort of that perspective, if you will.
Sure. Look, any professional league, whether it's the NBL, the NFL, or the NBA, you know, when you start out, you have to take baby steps, you know, and along the way, someone's going to trip, you know, as babies tend to do, and stumble. I think, you know, we've seen what happened in the province of Quebec. We've had a stumble there so far, but we'll resuscitate that. I'm confident of that, because they love ball in Quebec almost as much as they love it on the East Coast, but they love ball in Quebec. So we've seen the steps we've taken there. I think the leadership of the league has been very passionate and committed to growing this thing. This is not a fly-by-night thing. Right. We're here to stay, and that's one thing I can confidently tell you. The NBL is here to stay. So they've grown it over the last couple of years, built the fan base up, showed people that this is high-level ball. Look, there are only 400 jobs in the NBA, right? There are a heck of a lot more good players in the world, and many of them are playing here. So what the NBL provides, it provides that high-level guy from Division I who perhaps didn't get drafted by an NBA team, but doesn't want to go to Italy, doesn't want to go to Croatia. Maybe he wants to be somewhere where he can get a beef patty if he wants it, you know. He wants to be close to home and family. So we provide that. We provide an outlet for our Canadian university athletes who are tremendous players as well, to once again play in front of their friends and family. So, you know, that's what we provide, and for the fans, they benefit from that, because the quality of ball they see when they go to a game, it's high-level ball, but most importantly, they will never see at an NBL game anybody taking a night off. Right. These guys play with fervor, they play with desire, they play with passion, man, and that's what I'm most proud about being commissioner of this league.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's all the things you said, I echo, and I think you're right on in terms of the talent pool and what this can be provided, and you know, the whole aspect of being close to home. We talk about this often, how that's so significant and important for players, so obviously that's a big one as well. I want to talk a little bit about your background, because I think your background is an interesting mix of media and obviously your law as well, and how you see that impacting and making a difference in your role.
Well, I think as commissioner, especially for a league that's just, you know, starting out, you need someone to govern the league, that is to enforce the bylaws that are voted on by the board of directors. I think having a legal background, certainly being a lawyer, helps me in that regard. bringing aboard corporate partners, solid, strong corporate partners who want a long-term relationship. That I think is important in terms of my role. And I think, once again, being a contract lawyer, someone who's done corporate sponsorship deals, I've done deals, I've worked with, the ABA, I've worked with the Steve Nash Foundation, I've worked with, when we produced his All-Star game and brought NBA players up here, I've produced concerts, live events where I've dealt with corporate sponsors for almost a decade now. And, and finally, the media aspect of it. Key for us is to get involved in a marriage of sorts, or even just an intimate relationship with a media partner, someone who sees the value of our sport and our league and wants to be a part of it. And being from a media background, I spent almost 8 years as a journalist with the CBC. I've produced for the CBC, I've reported, I was an anchor, and I've structured media deals with major media companies for years. So those three key elements are what I think made me an ideal candidate to kind of come in and join forces with the board of directors and the owners and try and take this thing to another level.
Sure. So we got fans that are watching that are going to say, that's where I know him from. I saw him on TV, the news anchor.
Yeah, I was on the CBC for about, people still think I'm on there. I'll be walking down the street, hey, I didn't see you last night. Oh, you haven't seen me in 10 years, actually, but I appreciate it. No, but once you come into someone's living room, honestly, it's a strange thing. They feel as though they know you and you're part of their family. So I did that for years. That was a fun gig, but I wanted to acquire a law degree to put me in a position to do interesting things and not the same thing every day. That's what this job is. One day I'm dealing with an irate owner who doesn't want to pay a fine. The next day I've got to convince a corporate partner that he's got to pay double. So we it's an interesting job for me, and that's why when the opportunity came up, I met with the board and made my pitch, and thankfully they thought I was the ideal candidate.
If we can identify, last question here, Paul, if we can identify maybe the top, one or two priorities that you see brand new in the role, we're a couple weeks in here, where do you see yourself sort of focusing and attacking first?
Consistency. We have to run a consistent program across the league. We want to make sure that some teams are just doing a fantastic job. We want to see that consistently across the board. The new teams that are coming in, we embrace them, and we're really happy because they have great ownership behind them. And but a consistent product on the floor that fans can be excited about and that we at the league level can be proud of. That's really what our focus is, and that's the most urgent part of my ambition as the commissioner of this league.
We're all excited, Paul, and great to have you on board. Year number 3 is going to be big. Again, I think it's the most competitive year we've seen thus far, and we're excited to, again, have you on board. As the league continues to grow and develop, this couldn't be a perfect time. He is brand new commissioner, Paul Riley. I'm the odd man, Audley Stephenson.
Get locked. That's how we NBL Canada, get live.
When I say that's how we, you say ball. That's how we, that's how we. When I say that's how we, you scream ball. That's how we.